From a best case, worst case scenario, Nate, what's that for Lev?
Let's start with the worst case. The worst case is that Le'Veon signs with a team that doesn't have the talent that he played with. It doesn't have Antonio Brown, a complimentary wide receiver like Juju Smith-Schuster, an offensive line that opens up holes like no other team in the business, a quarterback that is a soon-to-be Hall of Famer, and there's some struggles. And then the criticism comes down, and it's the big I told you so, like everybody loves to do, coaches, fans, even us on TV. The best case scenario is that a team that needs him, he goes there and he balls out and proves to be one of the best running backs in the game. He's one of the top running backs in the league, one of the top receivers in the league. And on top of that, he gets the money that he wants. We're talking
$19 million money?
Well, you got to look what Todd Gurley is getting in Los Angeles. It's a lot. 16. So if Le'Veon Bell is being realistic, it's 16, 17, 18. I'm not sure if he's going to get 19 or 20. But if all these things fall into place, he's the best running back, plays with a team that can allow him to do what we're seeing right here on the screen, and he gets paid. Le'Veon Bell won.
I'm with Nate. I think the money to Le'Veon Bell seems to be the most important thing. If it was to play for just a ring, he would be in Pittsburgh right now and figuring it out. I think best case scenario for him is that there's a suitor for him. He makes more money than Todd Gurley next year. He sets the market, and for years to come, he's financially set. The worst case scenario for Le'Veon Bell in this situation is that 31 other owners say, I didn't love the way he handled that. I don't need that on my team. It looks toxic. It seems toxic. Seems like he's selfish. He's been suspended twice for off-the-field stuff. He missed a season. He might not be in shape. And 31 other owners say, we're not going to pay him even $14 million.
Is there a group email chain on that?
I don't know. I don't think they're allowed to do that.
No, they're not.
I think if you were to a man, look to a team and say, why didn't you trade for Le'Veon Bell? A lot of the teams were saying, it's a lot. It's just not what we're looking for right now. That's the worst case scenario. And I'll add another wrinkle to it. Steelers legends are legends for life in Pittsburgh. Barry Foster can walk into any Steelers bar for the rest of his life, didn't win a Super Bowl, still gets to get the drinks for free. I mean, you can go through the list of guys like Sidney Thornton and Tim Worley and Rich Ehrenberg.
Not the Francos. Those are obvious.
The Francos and the Bettises, we know. Right. Le'Veon Bell was in that conversation.
Yeah.
Now, if you read the tea leaves in Pittsburgh, the fans don't like him. The Pittsburgh media, who are, let's just say, conveniently quiet on trashing Le'Veon Bell till 4:01 yesterday, all of a sudden came out and Le'Veon Bell was the worst guy in the world because they don't have to face him in the locker room the next day.
Right.
I think it's a very interesting thing about your legacy in Pittsburgh because when you're a Steelers legend, that's forever. And now I think, worst case scenario, I don't think Le'Veon Bell is that celebrated in Pittsburgh, regardless of the great seasons he had for the Steelers.
It's a huge pockmark. The reputation's marred, right? It's sullied.
Probably would be different if they won a Super Bowl ring, but they didn't when he was there. And now if they do it without him or if they don't do it without him, it's not good.
100%. I'll just have a real moment here. The worst case scenario is anything that keeps everybody talking about this, including us. I'm serious. The Steelers are a great team. There's 32 teams. There's hundreds and hundreds of great players who are there with their pads on, ready to play. There is a filthy term right now for me called the transitional tag, where the Steelers can put that on him and still keep this marriage going, and an arbitrator determines the amount of money he'll be paid, and an executioner determines our fate at this table. That's my worst case scenario, that this divorce is not clean and that there's still some sort of connective tissue. The best case scenario, you want to look at Le'Veon? Best case scenario, clean cut from the Steelers. It's 100% done. He signs a big, fat, $50, $60 million deal with the Baltimore Ravens. He plays the Steelers twice a year.
Wow.
He plays with Lamar Jackson. The Ravens decided to move on from John Harbaugh. They hired Todd Haley as former coordinator as the head coach. And we have Lamar, we have Le'Veon, and Javorius Allen for the LL Cool J backfield. And you can call it a comeback. And he has the revenge tour twice a year. That's the best case scenario.
LL Cool J backfield.
That's it.
I love that.
I can only suggest it.
It's very interesting to me that none of you really mention the thing that he says that he did this for, the impact on the other running backs, right? It's about a greater cause, at least according to him. So in my opinion, if that's true, the best case scenario has to be then helping these other versatile running backs. He used to be the only one, right? He was the unicorn, the guy that can do it all patiently, run through people, but also catch in the backfield. But now you have guys. Saquon Barkley has 62 receptions this season. James White doing his thing. Christian McCaffrey, guys like that. The best case scenario is that he gets broke off and he helps them get paid. And that actually works because that's a legacy. So you have your Steelers might be tarnished, but if you're the guy that does set the market, that does sort of change the way that these sort of running backs are being viewed, and there are more and more of them, that's the best case scenario. Worst case is obviously he doesn't get broke off. And let's not pretend the list of why he shouldn't or wouldn't get broke off is short, Triggs. You've got age to consider, durability, the fact that he'll be off the field, away from the game for a really long time, the fact that he's been suspended twice for off the field stuff, the fact that, I don't know, I think some teams will look at him and say, is it a risk? Is it rewarding like that kind of behavior because it's not team friendly in their opinion?
All fair.
It's things that are going to be considered. So obviously there's teams like the Colts, the Raiders that have a lot of salary cap. I think somebody will pony up, but I mean the pivotal moment for this will be how does it affect the other running backs, because that seems to be what this whole thing was about, Kyle.
Yeah.
I wonder how the temperature at the table is on this. I have a very healthy skepticism about exactly how altruistic Le'Veon was with this. Le'Veon Bell is the guy who's going to carry the torch, or does he just really want to get paid and ran in the wrong situation?
Yeah, but how much does he have to get paid to offset a $14 million loss this year? Like, who's going to, I don't know.
He showed up to work yesterday, he got $6 million, and he said, I'm good. That is some
probably want to save his legs. Peter, you have a very astute BS detector. You really think Le'Veon was in this for the good of the running backs?
I don't know.
Come on, dude. No way. No way.
Okay.